Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Team Inkfinity podcast, where we talk everything Lorcana. And today we have a really awesome group with us. We've got Brandon and Cody. Thank you both for joining us. Even if Cody's not paying attention, he's still here. We just had a very fun off-topic Five Nights at Freddy's conversation about some meme.
Like, if we don't start every podcast with a Five Nights at Freddy's meme, are we really living?
Honestly, the best podcast openings are the ones where you just have to click record and just keep going with whatever you were doing to get started.
I mean, that's kind of usually how it goes. But anyways, we've got Cody here with us because, he was on the Illumineers and talked about his Christmas win. But we just wanted to, give a little bit more insight into that one. But there's been a ton of new, I don't know what the right word is. Is spoiler technically the right word? Because it's not a spoiler if they're releasing it, right? It's just like
just call them reveals.
No. Yeah, I mean, a spoiler is technically a reveal. The one that causes, I guess, controversy
Leaks.
And was not intended would be a leak. Because that means that they were... Because you can spoil things, like a trailer for a movie would be like a spoiler. Some people don't watch trailers because they want to go into movies blind, but that doesn't mean watching a trailer means that like it's the end of the world, But it would be different if someone's like sitting there in Hollywood taking pictures from like a food truck, just like that would be a leak.
Right. Okay. So releases, we have a lot of releases with Gen Con this week. I think we're up to 18 new cards of the, God, I'm going to get their number wrong. Is it 33? I was going to say 31, but I knew that was wrong. So of the 33, and I think we've gotten like 25 reprints now. And so we're getting up there in the total number of cards that have been released. And so, we're going to talk a little bit of Christmas, a little bit of in conjunction with how it's going to look during set 9. And then, go over all of the new cards we've seen and kind of talk about how the meta's shaping up. So,
are we talking about leaks today?
No leaks. Just reveals.
No leaks.
Just reveals.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, because then we could give a forewarning. So only official release.
Yeah, we only ever official stuff because we want to be above board over here.
Well, we can even go one step further than leaks, and we can do like non-official, non-leaked opinions. Be like, this Prince John was released on Twitter, and Ravensburger went, "Don't be stupid."
Let's actually start with that.
Oh, we can talk about that.
I think we should talk about that because I think that was actually like really, really fun, and I would love to see a lot more of that. So on
it at least showed that like if you want to pull it up, at least it showed that like
let me find it.
They are looking like it. I feel like it's very interesting when like, because I know everyone always jokes about like, stuff about tournaments or like 3 DLCs not getting tickets, and everyone's making memes online, and they're very like, can be like kind of fun jabs where maybe people are a little bit frustrated in somewhat. But I did like the fun meme that came out where people are like, "Oh no, things are getting downshifted, so that means that we don't officially know everything."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh, we can start releasing these pictures." I feel like that's been funny. So like, I got shown this.
Yeah, so somebody shout out Lorcana Habibi. I guess this actually ended up being a really good thing. Is at first we were all like, "Oh my God, he's coming back." It looked very real and had a changed rarity symbol, which we're like, okay, I mean that that can happen too, which we can talk about in a little bit. But then they responded, and where's I clicked on the whole thread over here. Why is it? How do I not know how to use this correctly?
I know Devin's in our Discord if you just want to pull that up.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So and then they their social account responded saying that's strange because I'm looking at looking at Fabled and this card isn't in it. So we basically got official confirmation. I'm taking that as official confirmation that he's not coming back for sure.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Mean, at least for right now, because they did specifically mention Fabled.
Yeah, so well, that's true. I mean, I guess everything has the potential to come back.
I don't even want to think about that.
Well, I'm taking what I can. I'm taking like what
it's I can not enabled, but
like okay, I don't think Prince John is so unhealthy that it couldn't exist in some sort of format.
Well, it's going to be an Infinity, so there you go.
But I mean, let's be completely honest, guys. I mean, in the world where blue red was like an amazing deck, it felt nice having a deck that could fight it back with Prince John decks. I mean, imagine that Prince John decks didn't exist and they get the kind of full reign, you know?
I mean, I guess
I'm
that's
just
fair.
a hater of discard. Like,
Yeah.
that's just all it comes down to. I just like playing against discard decks, so...
Yeah, that's honestly a deep dive in itself, because I come from other trading card games, I guess, compared to some of us here. Like, I think Mo is, like, probably the second person who's had the most experience, but mainly with, like, Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if discard's really a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I don't know exactly how that works, because I know it's more about, like, getting your stuff in play and then countering from there.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what was the point you're trying to make. I guess that it's not just solely on Lorcana thing.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think discard in Lorcana is way more of a problem than it is in other card games, because I was gonna make a reference to Magic just to, like, kind of bring it up, where there's, like, a deck that was always, like, very fringe and, like, sometimes it did good, called Smallpox, and it involved itself around a deck that was a mono black deck, and it was all about just, like, kind of ruining your opponent's resources by attacking hands, attacking lands, attacking creatures in play, where basically no one had resources. But it got to the point where it played cards that like, really its win condition was, like, at the beginning of turn, if your opponent has less than 3 cards in hand, they take a damage for each card above 0 they have. So I don't know. It has weird wording, but it was just, like, a very, like, stally deck. You just want to make sure your opponent doesn't have any cards in your hand. And that deck was, like, fringe. Like, it was, like, it sometimes did good against, like, control decks, but then, like, it would just kind of get burnt out about most things. But in Lorcana, this card was, like, a legitimate strategy. It's like, it wasn't, like, only a tool for fighting back against control decks where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play my Lucifer just to make my opponent have less cards than me, and then maybe that value will let me quest out. You know, they just have less resources to work with. But no, like, this deck was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna continuously make you discard.
Yep.
Bruno was a thing that you could do even when they had no cards in hand. So I think
Honestly,
that definitely led to a problem where there's just no good way to counter Prince John.
Yeah, I think the combination of, like, Prince John having Ward and having discard songs specifically made the archetype, like, really good, because the turn of just being able to, like, Ursula on 2 or any 2 drop on 2 and then play Prince John, sing Sudden Chill was just, like, I don't know, very good.
I think that's, like, I think that's the fine part of this card, because, like, most of the time your 2-drop was, like, pretty unsafe after that point. So it's like, oh, you're taking risks by doing that. But, like, I think Bruno on the top end, where you're even drawing cards when they don't have something in hand, that was really good. And then yeah, definitely Ward was a problem. I know, like, a lot of popular things people say about Prince John is, like, obviously if he didn't have Ward, that would be such a game changer, or if he had to be exerted to get the benefits. I think that would also be very interesting. So,
I mean, yeah, everything you just said, though, is basically, I think, the biggest problem is that, like, sure, I think discard is healthy, but, like, when you have value generation for you also disrupting your opponent, like, that's where the line gets, like, very murky on, like, what's healthy and what's not, in my opinion. But
yeah,
anyways,
and at least in Lorcana, I was gonna say there could be a day where, like, it is easier to deal with, like, a Prince John like card, and then I'm, like, totally right back on it, because, like, if we had, like, more effects like a Cinderella, Stout Hearted, where you could attack ready things.
Readied characters.
Yeah, because, like, that was always, like, the funnest thing. Like, what was a Wreck-It Ralph card that was like, I get to challenge something that's readied, and people would be like, I'm gonna have to play this because of Prince John. Like, honestly, that sounds really sick, and that card can be useful in other matchups. So if there was, like, a better way to do that earlier, yeah, let Prince John live. But...
Well, speaking of Prince John and all of the
fun
that the Disney Lorcana social team had, basically confirming that he's not coming back. So this is the Christmas deck that you brought and won the Sharp Gaming 5K with. I guess that was last weekend now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if, like I said, if you want to, like, get all the deep dives and stuff, you should go watch the Illumineers podcast or episode from this week, because Cody talked about it a lot there too. But I just mainly wanted to focus on
about it. I personally haven't had a ton of moments to sit down with y'all two, you and Mo, because I really want to hear everyone's opinion for who contributed to this. Because my win definitely felt like it was off of y'all's back for sure, because I did no testing for this.
Yeah, well,
so I would have never gotten to this moment without like that original list.
Well, that's what I think. Genuinely, like I feel like that's why we started this, is so that we can all kind of help each other out and figure out what's working and what's not.
I know, but I'm saying this was like probably the first success story that we did it with. Like, we didn't all sit around and build like a new blue-red shark list, or something like that. So like this was like definitely off the walls, unexpected, and I got first place out of a big tournament. So like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's aside from all the stuff Mo's done, I think it's probably the biggest success that we've had as a team. So that's just cool to see too. But yeah, I mean, I helped test this a lot. I thought it was really good. I think the two Emerald Ruby cards are insane. So Undermine, says your opponent discards a card, and choose a character gets +2 strength this turn. So it basically turns your Ursula into a 3/3, and they're discarding. And so again, like disruption to your opponent helps you swing back the board early game, which most discard decks have had trouble doing. And then Dormouse is a 2-cost inkable 1/2 that says when you play this character, you may put a damage character on chosen character. And so that's very impactful too, because it doesn't say put or deal 1 damage. It says put a damage counter. So it it's good into rhinos. It's good into other just big beefy bodies. And I like both of those cards a lot. Yeah, go.
Do you know Mo's here?
He is here? Okay. No, I can't.
No.
I can't see him right here. Let me.
I didn't think he could hear him.
No, I can't hear him, and so let me.
Oh yeah.
Let me switch over. I told him to join when we could, so we said there might be or I didn't say it, but I was going to say there might be a special guest joining, and there definitely is a special guest joining.
There's been like 2 or 3 times Mo's tried to talk, and then
Mo kept trying to say something. He just kept interrupting him. It was pretty great.
Yeah, so Mo was having some technical difficulties and some stuff going on and didn't know if he was going to be able to actually join or not. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull him in here too. But go ahead, Cody, on like your just overall thoughts. And the main question I wanted to ask you is like what changes you would want to make. And then like, what do you think the viability of this is like going forward into season or set 9? He is now, yes.
Yes.
I want to hear what Mo says first, really quick.
Oh, well, I just want to say I'm so glad. Wait, am I muted?
Zach can't hear you, I guess.
No, I can hear you. I still can't hear. He's in here. I'm messing with it. It will be done in like 2 seconds.
I'm good. I'm a patient man.
I can see. I bet they can hear him. If I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear him.
We can hear him the whole time.
I'm guessing even the podcast can hear him if what I'm saying is correct, because I bet they can hear it too, because it's just said wrong. Yeah, they can definitely hear it too. Okay, now I know I'm going to be able to hear you. So.
Oh. You can hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Everybody can hear you. We're all on the same page.
Who's here?
You can see behind the scenes on all of how all of this runs. Okay, Cody.
Okay.
Or Mo, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm so glad. Like, I was so disappointed when I thought Cody was going to play something else the night before. I was like, you have to play this. I made this. It's really good. But I know you will be better at it than I am.
Well, I was really scared because, like, I don't play red. Like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm all that, like I can just play any deck and do good with it. But like,
I'll say it.
Well, no, I won't be that person. But like, I've never played Maui Shark before, so I was kind of intimidated by like not knowing when to be that gamer. But what were we gonna say?
No, that's just what discard's about, though. You're being a little too modest because you have played a bunch of discard. You've played Under the Sea stuff.
That's true. I am. I did do I honestly, I feel like I wish I did more, but I guess I had a kind of a leg up. Because this is different than like, I guess, like a green steel discard list. It's way more feeling like the lemon lime one, which I did a lot of work with, because it's way more focused on that early game surviving till you do some efficient discarding with just some like late game good stuff,
Yeah. It innately is a late game just powerhouse of a deck against like, it just stands up with like, even in red blue in the late game, it's just from the amount of resources you gathered earlier. Very powerful combination of strategies. So like, it's a hype deck, but if you take these cards and look at most of them outside of like Dormouse, Lilo, and Undermine, they're just like some of the most played cards in the format.
Yeah, like all these cards have seen love. Like even Chip, which is fairly new, is just like it. Honestly, Chip was one of my favorite cards in the deck, just because like there are some awkward turns after you get the Prince John down, where it's like I know in like Lemon Lime you can do the "You Have Forgotten Me" to make them discard too, but you're not really progressing to the board. So your opponent just went like Daisy Ducks me, Lawrence, and you're like I gotta fight through this still, you know. But Chip is a body and got to do the discard and was like the perfect play in, excuse me, anything that was like a control version, right? Because you're just getting that discard, you're getting a card back, you're putting a body down that's going to do something. So Chip was like perfect for the deck.
Yeah, I love Chip a lot.
Notably, 4/3 in Cove.
I was gonna say
4 deals 5 of Undermine.
Yeah. I was gonna say like between Cove and Undermine, I feel like Cove has been played in a lot of Emerald decks, especially discard anyway. But like Emerald historically, having trouble dealing with boards and like discard decks specifically, just because your characters are a little bit weaker from their abilities. Like having access to that Undermine that's doing like 2 things that you really need through the discard, and also pumping up your Ursula or your Chip or whatever it is you need to like gain back the board, just seems like such a strong addition to the deck, like with the Chip as well, to kind of play to that board like Cody was talking about.
It is like you put a bunch of these little weenies on board. You have a bunch of 1/4s, 1/3s, 1/2s, and then you take a giant swing turn with a Cricky, with your Undermines, with Cove, and swing the board back, and suddenly you have this crazy advantageous game state on your side. And then you just finish the game with essentially establishing a Maui Shark with a strong action in the discard. Pirate's Life, Bruno, take your choice. There's so many good options. Like Maui Shark feels unfair with discard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like since I had the most successful run, because like I said, I didn't choose a lot of the cards that were initially going to be in this deck. I think the only thing I did different from Mode's original list was a plus on a Maui. When he had 4 chips, which I could easily see it going the other way.
Oh no, the Maui was the correct choice. I just couldn't find mine.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like I just had a very interesting, I guess, run because like I feel like some of the things, like the reasons why I would play a card, like didn't really come up. Like I know Pirate's Life and Maui Shark is like an amazing combo. I feel like I never did that. Like I honestly, no joke, think I only got back 1 Pirate's Life throughout the entire weekend from the 5K and the 3K, which I thought was interesting. I think funny enough, more of the threat was like getting back Dragonfire, just because it was like a hard removal or like Bruno. Like I think I got back a couple of Hypnotize against like control-y decks, like against Ruby Amethyst, because I would just like make them discard. I draw some more cards, you know. I almost didn't play Cove, but Mo sold me on it, and Cove did so much work over the weekend. Yeah, the deck was definitely way more on just like you survive those early turns, establish the Prince Johns. I even had a game where I won, where I opened up against Steel Song, was Prince John, Big Diablo, Little Diablo, and I had no way to protect the Little Diablo from like a storm. So I actually just shipped away the entire piece of that combo piece and just kept the Prince John, and I won that game, which I think was just like going to establish that like you just like play into like the strengths of your opening hand, and the deck just has so much late game that like as soon as you start getting to the point of slamming down multiple Mauis, then you're just kind of steamrolling. I even had a game where who was this against? Maybe this was like one of my stream games, but I feel like I put down a Maui Shark and it completely halted the entire game, and I feel like I just quested like 6 turns with a Maui Shark, and it basically got me the win.
Yeah,
but like it just like they couldn't do anything from that moment on.
That's what sharks tend to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is there any viability whatsoever going into the new set rotation? Because you obviously, as of now, we lose Diablo, we lose Prince John, we lose a lot of the other actions like Sudden Chill and Bruno, and so I think there's just a ton of
I think it's like
resource
Maui
stuff.
Shark, Pirate's Life, Dormouse,
yeah,
Undermine, Everything else is gone. Bruno gone, Cricky gone. I guess Chip stays, but yeah, it needs Prince John. Prince John was definitely the most important card of the deck. So if that's gone, this deck looks completely different. I will say, maybe if Bruno gets reprinted, I could see there still being some sort of red-green value deck because we do have Robin Hood Sharpshooter, and that card wasn't great before, but maybe afterwards, if there's less ways to exactly deal with them, then maybe there could be some sort of red-green value deck.
I can agree, although I do think, like, whenever you look at Prince John Diablo decks, there's always a third form of draw there. Like, Emerald Amethyst has Friends and Genie, Green Steel plays Morph and Beast. This deck is very reliant on Prince John, and the Prince John, like, turns your cards like Undermine into that secondary advantage generating engine that you're just like ripping the board back while you're discarding them, that makes up for that lack of a third engine there. And it definitely won't be the same deck without Prince John. But like Cody said, I think there's a world that if we get some powerful green actions, Shark would love that. So
you know what I just thought of? I just kind of want to name off. You know what you can hit off of a Sharpshooter? The Welcome to New Orleans blue card that puts something into play, and that could put in a Shark. So you could go turn 5 quest, play that, get a Shark in play.
All right, also starting the dream board now.
2 and then play it on 5, but I guess you're not playing it for free.
Well, we don't know that you need to go down that rabbit hole. I think that sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to build fun decks over here.
Yeah, I just again, I think with this being such kind of like a off the wall or out of left field deck that has gained a lot of traction, I think, over the past couple of weeks. I know we've seen a bunch of people playing it in set champs, or going to play it and getting prepared to play it in set champs this weekend. And my initial thought was, well, kind of the core cards of this have not been confirmed or denied yet. Aside from Prince John, Mo, I think before you joined, I don't know, you could have joined at this point, but we said, the Lorcana social had a lot of fun with basically saying Prince John is not coming back. And so, that's gone for sure. And so that does make it a lot harder, but I just love the thought process that we had getting to this point. So,
yeah, I think it was, I feel like the worst thing was we all said it, or Mo said it immediately afterwards, is like, dang, if only we could have figured this out before Worlds.
Yeah. It would have enabled a really neat line with blurple songs in Christmas. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't know if it targets things even as well as the line we took, but it would have been interesting.
You also got 7, so I don't know if there was like too much.
Can't complain too much.
Yeah, I think it's just more of like we tried to make Christmas work and we just couldn't get there at the beginning, but I guess last thing I'll say for anyone who does want to play it, it felt like the deck did really good into everything. I think it's one of those decks that, like, I think if you have a history of doing like Diablo Prince John stuff, ooh, foil dormouse. I think if you are competent to be able to run that and you can figure out those turns, like the deck can beat anything, even Steel Song aggro, which I think I would probably say is its worst matchup, just because removal on top of the ramp was really annoying. But it loved playing against anything that had Whole New World in it. They just had so many uninkable songs that got stuck in their hand. But I beat up on Blurple, Ruby Amethyst, Green Purple. I beat 6 Steel Song variants. My only losses were to other Steel Song variants, which they ended up being some of the top seats in the tournament. It beat up on Red Blue Mallory Shark. I never played against items, but I think from our consensus is it probably can beat up items too, just because they're a little bit more like trying to establish some like good board presence, and we would just make them discard everything before they got to that moment to make it really awkward for them.
Can confirm, does destroy items. I got to play against it.
Yeah, so it feels overall like there's a solid deck. If you feel good about playing discard, then I highly recommend it. Good luck for everyone. It's completely disappear when Fabled comes out.
Gone.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Fabled / reprints and everything else, let's go ahead and jump into set 9 talk now. Along the same vein of Maui Shark Pirate's Life, we did get confirmation yesterday that a Pirate's Life is coming back, and I think the group chat was very much like, oh, why? Why? And then Cody comes in and is like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, it is what it is. And so I feel like Cody always is the very like positive, like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like, we can figure out a way around it.
I'm going to have one positive message so it doesn't turn into like a rant, but I think Maui Shark plus Pirate Life, I don't know why, but that feels like a fun interaction in my head. Like, I like what that's doing. I like it. It's like a strategy that you can work for. It doesn't feel as backbreaking as the Maui Shark, Sisu, Be Prepared deck. I'd much rather play against the one where like they only have Pirate's Life going than also like 2 versions of board wipes in their deck. So if that's all that they're doing and we don't see a Sisu reprint or a Maui or Be Prepared reprint, then like I'm okay with adapting that fighting a Maui Shark Pirate's Life meta. I think that's more easy accomplished when there isn't a reset button.
And that's fair, for sure. I think everybody else, Brandon had the best take. So Brandon,
so like,
us off here.
There's some things that I'm a little bit concerned of when I see Pirate's Life reprinted, and I think like by itself, Maui Half Shark and Pirate's Life just go together, and like you can just kind of slot both of those cards into a deck without doing a whole lot much more, and like they're just gonna, it's like a combo, right? But there seem to be a lot of songs. Well, no, there's actually not a lot of songs. There seems to be something happening with songs in Ruby and Fabled, because we got Powerline revealed. We don't know how strong of a card Powerline's going to be yet, because we don't have a like shift target for him, but he's like a shift. What was it? Shift 6, I think.
Shift 4, cost
Shift
6.
4. Okay, yeah. So shift 4, 6/4, Singer 9, and then
scroll up a little bit. There you go.
Once per turn. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, once per turn. When he sings, you can look at the top 4, play a song off the top 9 or less for free, and you put the rest in the bottom. And so it leads me to believe that like Ruby, there's probably going to be some deck combination. What colors that is, I don't know. That's going to be like a Ruby X songs thing. And I think any kind of action songs deck with Maui Shark and also having Pirate's Life available to it could be an issue. The one, like, I initially thought of Christmas because it was like the topic of the day, but like as I've heard you guys talk about, losing Prince John, losing Diablo, things like that, there's not much of a like draw engine there. So like that's probably not it unless we see some new cards.
I think
or
it needs Bruno too.
printed.
I don't think if you have Bruno, then there's like, why are we even in green?
And then on top, but other than that, like in the little video they showed of Powerline being made, some of the game devs were playing a like Ruby Steel deck with Beyond the Horizon, and like I can see some stuff there with like there's a lot of removal that's leaving as well. We saw that Strength got reprinted, the little Sisu got reprinted also, so it's like maybe there's a world where you can find a way to keep card advantage in Steel with Ruby. Amethyst is also another one that kind of comes out. Evasives might be really big in this set, and then so like having Maui Shark as an evasive to kind of counter all of the other evasive stuff that's happening is kind of another thought. And Amethyst is already an ink that like draws a lot of cards inherently, so like I obviously don't know what's going to happen, but that's kind of my concern with Pirate's Life coming, because although I agree with Cody in that like when you're playing Maui Half Shark and Pirate's Life, you don't have access to like the board wipe or removal, and you're not able to kind of reset. I still think just having Pirate's Life in a deck to keep your opponent from coming back or creating sort of those stalled board states where like the Half Shark hits the board and then now you can't quest with any of your characters because they can either bring back, I mean, it's not just Pirate's Life, but it's also just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, you don't want to give them a Pirate's Life either if they have it in their discard. I don't know. I just think like Maui Half Shark was already scary enough being there, knowing that Pirate's Life is a card that's regularly played with it in a way that Maui Half Shark decks are usually able to or can close out games through just cycling them and gaining 3 lore every time you play it, or like heck, like hitting one off of Powerline, just off the top or whatever. Like that could be, pretty good, I think.
Yep.
Agreed.
I did want to give a PSA or I don't know what the actual terminology. Don't listen to
public service announcement.
But
PSA?
yeah, that's okay. That's what I was thinking. But then I started thinking like card grading.
The grading company.
Then this card does say once per turn.
Yeah.
So, and I think it says during your turn, right? Once during your turn. What does Powerline officially say?
I think so.
I mean, you can only, it says once during your
once
turn.
during your turn. So I did see a lot of people talking about like, oh, you just go infinite with all these ready effects. Not exactly. I do think flipping over. What's the card that you like, Mo? The Brother Bear card.
Oh, nothing we won't do.
Yeah, so I do think that's really cool. Where it's like you flip it, you ready your guys, they don't take damage. Like honestly, I'm okay with that existing. That sounds kind of cool. I mean, I guess it's way more scary with Maui Half Shark, but like the Powerline deck, I'm not really worried about. Like on face value, I think Powerline's really cool. I'm fine with Singer not being exclusive to Amber because I felt like that was too overpowered for the most part. But yeah, I'm very just interested to see what songs we actually get because actually you said that, Brandon, and I didn't watch that initial opening video with like them doing Ruby and Steel, but like that sounds really cool. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. If Ruby still becomes a meta deck because of this, sure, we gotta have some deck on top, right? Let it be a deck that's like seeing no love at all. So
that's my thought too. Like I tried playing Ruby Steel in like set 1, and I was determined to make it work, and it just never has. And like something that I hear people talk about with Fabled is hoping that, or maybe probably more with rotation than Fabled necessarily. Like I hope it just completely shakes things up.
Yeah,
if we never see Amber Steel again for the next 4 sets, but Ruby Steel's like at the top, great. That's cool. Like let's see different color combinations that we haven't played for the past 8 sets.
And that's exactly where my ideology is. And I feel like if some decks want to focus more on the song stuff, then like obviously Maui Half Shark and Pirate's Life is going to be the top end. But like I guess I'm just kind of fine with that. I think like it definitely feels a lot better than just like playing against like board wipe deck or the turn 1 Cindy Storm You deck. So yeah, I'm just excited for a new face. And I know Half Shark's fairly new enough that like I feel like there could be some really fun songs because now I'm even thinking back because then you put Maui Half Shark into play and we just were talking about a blue red ramp deck in the Maui Shark. You could turn to ramp out a Robin Hood Sharpshooter, so there could be a fun little blue red songs list that kind of does that, but like that doesn't sound as scary as like items or blue red Maui Shark burn, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with different versions of things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're a little off the rails, not talking about all the new stuff, but on the Ruby Steel front, I think its biggest like hindrance was you like Cindy just basically eats your first 4 turns, just like everything else, right? And so if Cindy doesn't get reprinted, then I think there's a very strong option for it to be able to do some really crazy turns. And so, yeah, I'd be all for Ruby Steel stuff too. But
what is this card called?
Eye to Eye.
Eye to Eye.
Oh my gosh, Cody, do you not have you not watched? Yeah, have you not watched a Goofy movie?
Is that how it's written? Eye to Eye?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the name of the song.
Eye.
That looks so weird to me. I have seen the movie, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I come from a different generation where like I've seen the movie, but like it wasn't my like end all be all. So anytime someone's talked to me about like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my mind, that Powerline's in the game, I was like, really? I don't even remember that guy's name.
I'm not. Like, oh God, I'm not that diehard. I mean, I'll be the guy in the middle here. I'm not that diehard, but I do love the songs. I do love Stand Out, and I do love Eye to Eye.
It was a good movie. I no criticism from me. It just feel like I'm sorry. It's not my crowd. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go. I'll be waiting for Pixar. I'm more of a Pixar guy.
No,
take it back while you still can.
That's fine. Yeah. Anyways, so I don't have any issue with it. Okay, we'll go. Mo hasn't said anything in a while, so let's stick on some of the Goofy movie stuff before we move on to some of the other new cards that they've shown. But so yeah, Eye to Eye is a 9-cost inkable Sing Together. Each player draws 2 cards and gains 2 lore. If 2 or more characters sang this song, then you can ready them and they can't quest for the rest of this turn. So I don't inherently think this one's like overly busted or going to be the craziest thing ever. But again, like if you have a shark on board and you're able to like ready stuff and like sing more stuff. And we talked about Pirate's Life. Like there's just a lot of uninteractable lore that you can just throw on the board. And so that's kind of the scary piece for me on this one specifically.
I think this is one of those cards that I just kind of chalk up to will only be used for evil. Like, you look at this in like a competitive sense, and it's just never that good. It's a lot of setup, but I'm not completely convinced there isn't some kind of crazy Pirates Life eye to eye goofy movie deck that just involves like solitairing your opponent with just burn cards. Because there's spoiler alert, the 3-cost max goof that you can pay 1 extra to add a song back, or is it a song of 4 or less? It might be 4 or less.
I think there's a cost.
4 or less. I don't know exactly the wording, but it's 4 or less, whatever it is.
Okay, so it's 4 or less. So maybe not, but I do think a card like Eye to Eye is probably 3 or less. Yeah, not even that good.
But it cost 4 because you play it and you pay an extra 1, so that's where the 4 comes from.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a very good card, but there's a chance it gets played, and if it gets played, people aren't going to be happy about it.
I think I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that's a really good way to word it because that's how I feel. Like I know Under the Sea saw more love than that, but Under the Sea is definitely like, if this card's seen play, there's definitely something mischievous going on, and it's when you do we're like Lost in the Woods. Like, who's playing Lost in the Woods? Well, there's some other cards.
Just meant for evil. Sure.
This card, I like this card.
Okay,
I don't actually know if this is good.
Yeah, what about Stand Out here? So Stand Out's a 3-cost inkable song in Emerald, and it says chosen character gets +3 strength this turn and gains evasive until the start of your next turn. So
no, you did actually read that completely incorrect. It says chosen character gets 3 strength and evasive until the start of your next turn, not just this turn.
Oh, okay. You're right. I did say that. Yes.
So it keeps it on the back end if they want to challenge.
So it has it too, and it's not. Yeah, it's not challenger +3. It's actually +3 strength, and so that does matter a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just wish that Ursula Double Singer was still existing for this card because like this is such a cool card if you're playing like an aggro style song list with Ursula Double Singer where you imagine pumping like a Merfolk with this. Like, it has and then you want to challenge it, you discard a card and take 3. That seems so cool to me.
God.
I mean, that is a really cool line, especially since we know Merfolk's coming back. But yeah, Gomo.
Yeah.
This is such a green card. I expected it to be uninkable after I read the effect for the first time. Because I'm like, yeah, that just seems like something they'll give us. Like, yeah, you can sometimes kill a shark with this, sure. Like, you can get that cool dream trade up with your, like, random 2-drop or 1-drop into a shark. But most of the time, it'll probably just rot in your hand. I do like that it keeps the strength for the next turn. I knew it kept the evasive, but it just now occurred to me like, oh, you keep the 3 strength. That's really cool.
Yeah, like I think it's I don't know. I don't actually think this card's playable, probably, but it definitely feels like an Ursula song.
I don't know. The more you guys were talking about it, the more I do think that this is like. Again, I'm just like way overblowing it, but I still feel like Maui Shark's gonna be like the big bad of the set.
Well, okay.
Of like having to have answers for the shark, and like this is like basically makes you always have an answer for a shark if you have this.
Yeah.
So
I just think like evasives in general might be a problem for this next set.
That's
so
fair.
having a card that can like give your thing evasive to like not only to challenge into other stuff, but then like you guys said, maybe you use it in a deck where like you just give your thing evasive, and if your opponent can answer it, then you win. Like I don't think this card is like broken, but I can see it being played in like fringe emerald decks.
Here, you want to take a guess? Because I don't think we know the non-enchanted version, right? Y'all think this is a common or uncommon?
No, we've
seen it.
I think it's a rare, or no, it's uncommon. Yeah.
Okay, there's no way that's a rare.
Okay, speaking of, we have the for the audio listeners, we have the epic version pulled up, and so since this is the first one of these we're looking at, what is everybody's thoughts on the new epic rarity?
Epic?
Oh. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was an enchanted when I saw it. It looks that good.
I guess it makes sense.
It's kind of like a chapter 1 enchanted. Like they've done such a good job of like growing the artistic style and all of the different borders and everything around like the text box for the enchanteds that. This basically is a set 1 enchanted.
Now that I looked at this.
Can what?
Pull up an enchanted.
Eyes enchanted.
So the difference is there's a border around the text box because then the iconic doesn't have that.
Yeah, the epics just like basically lose the border, but the art doesn't extend past the like normal.
The text
That's
box.
the big one.
Yeah.
Is
it's
that
cool. I like it.
It goes wall to wall, but then you have like the ink color, separation between the text box, and then there's no art under that. But yeah, I like it a lot.
Let's use this as a demonstration to teach the audience some things that are listening. Are iconic cards just going to be for like non-rares? Because I feel like I've only seen non-rare iconic cards.
Do we know how many there are going to be?
There's 2 iconic cards. Are you guys talking about iconic or epics?
Oh yeah, you said. I assume you mean epic because iconic.
Oh yeah, these are epics, right?
No,
yeah, these are epics.
Yeah, epic.
Yeah,
I don't know how many epics
we were completely using that wrong. Yes, that's an epic because iconic is only the 2 ones. Yeah, like this is an uncommon.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Have we seen any other epic cards so far?
I don't think we have. I think it's just those 2.
Which I was like, I don't actually know if they've confirmed that or not, but I wonder if they're just. Oh, just Lilo. Lilo's a epic, right?
That one was pulled off of like one of the products reveals, and so you don't see. Oh no, that one's got gold. That one's got gold text, so that one's definitely enchanted.
That's a good shout.
Because cool. they changed.
Wait, enchanteds only have gold.
They updated that now as to where like the names, because you were saying that on Eye to Eye. Where the name of the characters now are gold text, which I'm pulling up the Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard enchanted.
So that means there's 2 vanilla cards that are enchanted, which I'm okay with. I think the astronaut Lilo looks cool, and obviously people are gonna freak out over this Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, they will. But yeah, I love the epics. How many epics are there per set?
18 epics.
18. Okay, that's what I thought.
I thought it was like 28.
18 epics, 18 enchanteds, and 2 iconics. Then
I'm pretty sure.
I think that sounds right.
I thought there was more. I feel like 28 was the number.
Okay, well we're on the pretty kick here, so let's just go to the iconics. We've seen the art for the Mickey. We now have and the mini, and now we have the full card to check out as well. And so iconics, they don't even have a blur around the box. Essentially, they're all just like full art with the text, basically interlaid into the card. But while we're looking at iconic Minnie Mouse, she's a 4-cost Amber Inkable that has a 2/4 stat line quest for 2. Has the ability that says your chosen characters named Mickey Mouse gain support. And bye now, whenever this character quests, you may banish chosen exerted character with 5 strength or more. So that could be cool.
I actually really like this card. Like, I do think it depends. It like hinges on what strength-based removal we have going into the next format. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how well like the Mickey interaction is going to play. But at worst, like, I don't know. I think it's really cool to have the effect on quest. And if we end up with the playable Mickey, that could be really neat.
I mean, because then your Mickey has support. He quests, pumps one of the other cards for her to then quest, to then be able to banish said card. And so there is definitely some interaction there. I mean, there are definitely a couple hoops to jump through. But if you're wanting to play max rarity decks, then throw in a couple iconic Mickey and Minis.
Oh my gosh.
and call it good.
So the only Mickeys that we have post rotation, unless some get revealed to get reprinted, are in Ruby and Steel. So you'd have to pair it with one of those 2.
There's actually a 4-cost Ruby Mickey that is kind of interesting. He pumps himself up to whenever a mini's on board, so he's a 4/4. And if he's got support, he's already like a trigger for that. But I think this is the intended interaction.
Sure. We have the text for the iconic one now. He's the Brave Little Prince. He's a 3-cost 2/2 quest for 1. But if you shift him to play, which is the first time we've seen this as well, he's a shift 5, so 3 cost, but shifts for more, which is interesting. And then he basically turns into Mickey BLT when you shift him. So that's kind of cool.
I think this is interesting. It's got some really cool like interactions if we see like Detective Mickey rotate along. Right now, there's not great targets for his shift, but it could be. The overshift mechanic's interesting.
That didn't even occur to me until you just said it. Detective Mickey on no, it didn't, because I'm just I guess it's, I don't know why I shouldn't have, because Devin and I talk about Detective Mickey all the time, but yeah.
I know. I feel like if there's any card that I could probably put money down that's probably going to get reprinted, it has to be Detective Mickey, right?
Dang,
they even added
the question is, cards. Do you think it's getting reprinted in Fabled or in Whispers in the Well? Because Whispers in the Well seems to have the whole detective thing going on.
True. I don't know. I mean, this is the reprint set, so like the idea is, and someone please correct me, but I got the impression that like this is the big reset set, and then there could be reprints in the other sets, but it's not gonna be like super.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be as many. Like we've already seen one reprint outside of this, which is Captain Hook.
2 Dalmatian puppy.
The last set. Yeah, which is like, I don't know why every time I look at that one, I was like, no, this must be a different Dalmatian puppy, because it doesn't actually matter, because you can play 99 copies. So I was like, this could just be a different card, and you still get to play 99 copies.
Sure.
It's like you're never gonna hit that. Like, does this? Imagine if it was a different one, and you could play. What is that? 180, 198 puppies.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because they're different imprints of it.
Okay, I just had this thought on this one. No, it's probably not a downside, but normally you're trying to shift to get a more expensive card on the board early to then either be able to sing or to deal more damage or do something along those lines. Like, this guy actually sings worse because you're shifting for more, and so you don't have the ability to sing a 5-cost song or sing a higher cost song. Does that take away from this at all? I mean, I guess it does, like, ever so slightly, right?
It's just a different type of shifting, because yes, normally, like, I think that's like the Robin Hood champion Sherwood was like, that was a big thing for it, because you would shift it on 3 and sing Whole New World. That was a big identity for like why you would be doing that shift in Seal Song.
Sure.
This one, you're definitely just being way more aggressive. Like, if you're planning on doing like the fast shift on this, then like Detective Mickey means on turn 4 you can shift this. You start questing for 4 then, and you just have a giant body. Like, you're doing different things. You probably aren't trying to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's something to keep in mind, guys. Even though the shift is higher than the cost, that it is a 3-drop. You won't be able to sing bigger things.
That is my complaint about this overshift mechanic, is like you lose, like typically like shifting something is trading a card advantage for a tempo swing. You get to play a bigger card sooner. This one only does like half of that, in the sense, like for Lorcana, sure, he's got the stats of a big card, but he can't sing 5-cost songs or 8-cost songs.
This is the potatoes of a shift. It's gonna be really big.
Yeah.
Got no spices yet. It's just a lot of meat.
And then he gets Zeused, and you lose 2 cards, and it's like,
but I will say, an argument against that though is because I'm definitely somebody that doesn't love cards that don't do anything when they're played, but because this can be shifted, as we were talking about earlier, it being a more aggressive card, like if I shift this card and then immediately get 4 lore out of it, and then it gets Zeus, like, I don't know, is that worth it? We'll see. Maybe. Who knows?
We don't even know if Zeus doesn't exist yet.
I guess
that's true.
Zeus may not get reprinted,
we also have to understand, like, if we're on this blue-red, early shift Mickey kick, then you have to see like what other aggressive cards you have, because red blue turn 1 2 have historically been awful, and so if you're going the aggro route and your aggro is, again, we don't know if these are being reprinted or not. I'm just saying, like, historically the turns have been like, if you go Popsicle, Tipo, Detective Mickey, Brave Little Prince, like, that's not a very aggressive line, and so then you're like losing out on like that whole potential you have.
I got lost in what exactly you said to me. That's too much spice for not. That was too much combo for not a lot of spice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. One last thing I'll say about the Mickey, which I think is interesting, is that notably it's a very cheap Floodborn, because it shifts over and it's 3-drop. It is still a Floodborn when you play it, so it triggers like you could go Blue Fairy Mickey, that's draw card, 2 evasives.
True.
Or Bucky. Well, you have to shift for Bucky.
If they brought back Bucky.
Old Bucky, pre-errated Bucky, you could go Bucky, Mickey, discard a card.
Where's Dumbo? Oh, he's right here. Oh, okay, so we talked a little bit about evasives, or I think Brandon mentioned it, that evasives are probably going to be big this set. I think this new Dumbo card that they released, which is, do we know we don't technically know
I don't think we know the rarity.
Yeah, we don't know the rarity on this one because we only do have the enchanted version of it. We do have another Dumbo that we'll get to in a second that we know is an uncommon, but for this one specifically, we know it's a 3/3 4-cost inkable, and is evasive, and then has 2 abilities that says exert and pay 1 ink, draw a card and gain a lore, and then your other evasive characters gain that same ability. So exert, pay 1 ink, draw a card, gain a lore. And so your evasive characters then just have a lot of other intrinsic value to get, some lore. And so there could be a lot of, evasive wars kind of, heating up. I really, really like this card from a art perspective. Dumbo is one of the enchanteds that we've seen now. But I also really want to try to build a deck around this. So I'm pretty hype on Dumbo.
Yeah, big fan over here. I don't think he's as broke as I initially thought, because I missed the pay 1 ink. And that's a big part. That's a big part.
That is a big part for sure.
Reading does explain the card.
Yeah. Reading the card explains the card. But I do still think he's really cool. There's so much, like, obviously my mind goes to green purple. It can abuse the evasive mechanic. We have a lot of really strong evasives. We know we're getting 1-cost Pegasus back at some point. Like, that's fantastic.
True.
I think it's super cool that he still gives you the lore too. Like, you're still progressing the game state while, like, drawing a bunch of cards. I don't know. I think playing 3 evasives and then a Dumbo and then on turn 5 just drawing a bunch is probably fair. Probably too slow, but I don't know. I like it. I think this card will see play for sure.
If you're not playing an evasive deck, though, like all those little, dinky 1-questers like your Pegasus and everything else that, are very low cost evasives that don't necessarily put a ton of pressure on, that then gives them a ton of new life, though. That's the difference. Obviously, you're right. It's slow and you're not, going to be at 18 lore at that point, but you have the ability then to, like, refresh to hit the finish line from there. So that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah.
I'll be the person in the room that talks about something non-related. Do you think they named this the 9th wonder of the universe so it doesn't conflict with King Kong being the 9th wonder of the world?
Is King Kong the 9th wonder of the world?
Have you seen the movie?
I mean, I've seen some of them.
I think that's what he's called.
I don't know. I mean, Cody is definitely... I thought Cody was going to be the downer because I think Cody probably likes this the least of us. So, Brandon, while Cody's looking up King Kong for unknown reasons...
Oh my gosh. King Kong's the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
So Dumbo comes after King Kong? What's happening here? I have so many questions now. Also, why universe?
Notably... King Kong predates Dumbo by 8 whole years, 1933 to 1941.
So wait,
there you go.
Are you telling me that the people who wrote this movie took into consideration of King Kong?
Probably,
maybe.
Why is he the 9th? Because if he's not, then what is the 8th wonder of the world in the Dumbo universe? Also, why is it universe, not world? Because I will say I did just Google search Dumbo, and there's every article I read would say either 9th wonder of the universe or 9th wonder of the world. So I have so many questions. I have to go do a Always Sunny in Philadelphia conspiracy wall trying to figure out what's going on here. But just wanted to point that out. I thought it was an interesting name.
Okay, Brandon, get us back on track.
Okay. I'm a little bit with Mo here in that I overlooked the pay 1 ink to do the ability because
oh my gosh.
I was like, this card is broken. Like, you're telling me when I play this card, all my evasives for the past 3 turns, like gain a lore and draw me a card, that's crazy. Okay, it's a little less crazy, but something that Amethyst does really well is I'm gonna struggle thinking of this word. They just they're always in the game. Like it feels like every Amethyst card that gets played replaces itself in some way. And so it's like you play a rabbit, you draw a card. You play a genie, you draw a card. You quest with your Turnabog, you draw a card. Your Diablo dies, you draw a card. And it's like this is just kind of another one of those things where it's like if we do move in an evasive direction, is Dumbo the best play on turn 4? Maybe not, because then you can't use his ability very well with all your other evasive characters. And I think that will be heavily reliant on the type of removal that we see or cards being played in the set. But I think it will be like, I think Mo or Zach, one of you mentioned that like it's just another good way for Amethyst decks to like refill their hand. Or we know Pegasus is coming in set 9 because it has the little 9 thing on the bottom of the promo. And yeah, like all those small questers, especially the questers that were already questing for 1 lore, like this is just another benefit to that. And so probably not as good as I originally thought, just because also on your turn, if you have 2 or 3 evasives and you're paying an extra ink to draw a card with them, that's like, you know, less ink that you have to play with. And I feel like a lot of those Amethyst decks are trying to be pretty tempo oriented also. So like maybe in a like Blurple deck, this looks pretty okay if you're building it more around evasives, because you're more likely to have the ink to do something with it than maybe a Emerald Amethyst or Amethyst Steel deck, for example. But I at the very least, I expect this card to be tested really heavily, and like I'm sure there's a way that people can find to break it. But between some of the reprints and some of the other Amethyst cards that we're getting, and even like the Aerial, we'll probably get to the Aerial in a second, there just seems to be a really heavy evasive theme to this set. And so I think, I don't know if a card like Dumbo makes the cut, but it's a great tempo, like just card resource generator, another one in Amethyst to like go along with that, I think.
Okay, Cody, tear it down, because I know you are less high on it as we are.
No, I like Dumbo. I definitely think having to exert everything is definitely a downside. It's also not very aggressive, but I guess I'm not gonna repeat what everyone else has already said. But yeah, I think this card could see play. The world I see play is like, I imagine me playing like Emerald Amethyst, going like Pegasus. What's that card I hated that you played against me, Mo?
Go.
Cricket. Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, Jiminy. I love Jiminy.
That's an evasive and exerts like their evasive stuff, right? Where they have a rush or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I see Dumbo not really being like a turn 4 play, but more of like, I'm gonna play this on 6, and then I'm gonna use my remaining 2 to like, exert. Because you can exert the other things that are already in play. Like, you don't have to wait for Dumbo to be dry. You can just do things that already exist that already are dry. So like, I imagine doing this like on turn 6, and then like, I'm gonna pay 2 here, tap these 2 that are already gonna quest for 1, gain 2 lore, draw 2 cards, pass. So it's just gonna be like a nice little value play. And then, I mean, it's a good body. It's inkable whenever it's bad. So I think it's this is just a card I really like because it's really unique, right? We've not had a card like this before, so I'm excited for it. I think it's really cool. I like it how it's not as simple as like Rabbit, where it's just like, I'm gonna draw a card on play and leave. Like, this one's like, I'm gonna have to like play a little bit more, or a little more strategy with like how these turns are gonna go.
Okay,
can I have a hear me out?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. You use a gazelle on your Monstro. Suddenly, you can deck yourself out and do the Monstro.
I mean, to be fair, you'll get 20 lore before you dick yourself out, but yes.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You just, Monstro.
Hold on, no, hold on. We're not using gazelle. We're doing Blurple. I'm not posting this episode now. This has just gotten way too hot, way too fast. So this little Dumbo here that we also got is a 3-cost inkable 2/2 quest for 1 that is evasive, and says when you play this character, chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. So you Dumbo and Monstro on the same turn.
Doesn't work.
You have to have the ink for it.
Yeah, you have to pay the ink.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have to pay the ink. Well, yeah. I mean,
that's why you play it in Blurple.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I can discard the top 8 cards of my deck.
There we go.
Then gain 8 lore. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you play this Dumbo after the turn, like you Monstro to clear the board in Blurple or do something crazy, and then you play Dumbo after that to then, I don't know, that seems very much like the Donald Duck, whatever that Monstro combo was to win this time.
That one is
very much
infinite.
didn't work, but Okay, back to this one real quick. I just have to postulate the question because it's been on my mind. So just like reframing what this does, like how many times in a game would you give up like one lore? So if you have a 2-quester, you're exerting and paying 1 ink. And so you're losing a little out on a lore technically, but you're drawing a card. Like how many times are there throughout a game where you're like, hey, I would just much rather, need a new resource and get the resource and lose up on the potential lore and like pay 1 ink.
Something like Quest for 2.
I'm just saying in general, like giving up a tiny bit of lore and a little bit of ink to draw is usually very good.
Compromise the lore, right? If it's like a genie, right? Are you saying like if you use a genie for this?
If you like absolutely had to get resources to find an out, to get something, if you're playing Emerald Amethyst to find a lever to to be able to bounce something, if you're playing Amethyst Steel to find a song to be able to sing, to to remove whatever you need. I feel like it just gives you a ton of flexibility to find outs that you need. And so while again it might not be like the fastest, Amethyst also has plenty of bodies that just get instant lore too. So again, will it be the best or not? No, but to Brandon's point, like it's definitely going to be tested.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from good old Dumbo here. What do we want to talk about next? I'm like, I didn't really, there's just so many old cards that have come back, and there's so many new ones, and I didn't really have a good, strong.
Yeah, how long have we been going for?
We're an hour, so we can definitely it was crossing my mind to say and catch part 2 next time.
I was gonna say, we can just hit on some of these last ones. I think we've covered some of the more like impactful ones, but
what else?
I wish the Mulan was better.
Yeah, that Mulan has been seen for a while, right? Because that was part of the Asian promo that was released like a month ago, probably.
Enchanted. I'm haggling all of my Inkfinity team members for this, but I wish it was a little bit better.
Yeah, Mulan's a 5-cost Sapphire card that says whenever this character quests, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a princess character, put it in to your hand, put the rest of them out of the deck in any order. So this is very much like a Amber Sapphire Princess deck card, but to Cody's point earlier that he made before we started recording, it's like, hey, you might be able to draw 1 card.
Yeah, it's a 5-drop on quest, maybe draw a card. So
I
wish it needed to have like it has like decent stats, but like I wish it like maybe this one quested for 3, maybe give it a keyword. Like honestly, if it said on play, I think I would like it a little bit better, just because you can like maybe guarantee you get a card back. This one's not as consistent, but I don't know.
Notably, they fixed set 1 Moana, so there could be a world.
They fixed it.
They changed. Well, this is actually the set 1 card, so they haven't updated the text on this. But so the current card text for the set 1, Moana of Motunui and Amber reads: whenever this character quests, you may ready your princess characters. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. But the new text says if you do so, or something along those lines, meaning if you do ready them, then they can't quest for the rest of this turn.
Intended to be played, but then
yeah, pretty funny.
Okay, last question then, and we can get out of here. What do we think about so far about the cards that have been revealed as reprints? So we talked about Pirate's Life, we've talked about Strength, we talked about
I'm so happy for Bell.
3-drop
Bell's one of my favorite cards.
Bell Accomplished Mystic is another very meta card that has been announced. Curse Merfolk.
I love Curse Merfolk. I think Curse Merfolk's like a well-designed aggro card.
Terrified of Curse Merfolk, but
I mean, it's supposed to be, but it's not the end of the world, right?
Aerial, Sonic Warrior. I think those are probably.
So happy. I'm so happy for Sonic Warrior because I feel like it didn't get a lot of love. It kind of is here recently.
It definitely is here recently.
But I feel like it was kind of being outclassed by a lot of red cards. So if those red cards do not exist anymore, then Sonic Warrior might be really cool. I will say we do got to find some fun way to shift it though, because we might be losing our favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, we know that the 4-cost Singer 7 is coming back. What is her subtext?
None. She's just a
singing mermaid.
Oh, you mean
Singer 7? Yeah. Yeah, I love this card. I feel like already from some of the stuff I'm seeing from the set, I was also going to say some of the decks I feel like are kind of getting some love as of right now, which is Sapphire Steel. I think Sapphire Steel Ramp and Sapphire Steel Allies are totally going to be useful. Because I feel like they were getting kind of burdened by board wipes. So yeah, I think they're just really cool.
Oh yeah, I like the Jasmine.
Yeah, I think the Jasmine's kind of interesting. It's kind of just very straightforward.
You can give her Challenger +3 multiple times, right?
Yeah, you can discard your hand.
You can do whatever you need. So the Jasmine says is a 5-cost inkable, 3/7, quest for 2. Has evasive during your turn and says choose and discard a card. This character gains Challenger +3 this turn. Notably, this is like a what's the 3-cost card? Why can't I think? Desperate Plan. This is like a Desperate Plan enabler. Like imagine if you have something in your hand where you just like discard, a couple things, pump her up, Desperate Plan, so that you actually get the effect from Desperate Plan versus having to loot off of it.
Not only that, but like one of the hesitancies of playing Desperate Plan is if you end up drawing more than one, because then you're just stuck in
exactly
like you can't get rid of the other. So
yeah,
I like this one a lot. Notably, another shark answer potentially if you're discarding. So
yep.
I think this card's just kind of solid. I think it's like a perfect rare, right? It feels very like it's really beefy. Like that's gonna be really intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this thing in sealed.
It's pretty good. It's probably pretty good without ever discarding a card.
Yeah, all that willpower.
I'm really hoping Madrials become more of a thing. I know there was a lot of Madrials in Ursul's return, but I feel like there's a lot of really fun stuff that didn't get to see a lot of love with how our format was kind of turning out. But if Steel Song is weaker and Blue Red is a little bit weaker, then I feel like Yellow or Amber Amethyst Madrials are going to be really sweet. I'm looking at all those different songs that exist right now in the game.
That's what I was about to say. Like, there's a lot of songs that are rotating right now. We might see a lot. I mean, we're already seeing some being reprinted through the Heal What Has Been Hurt, Pirate's Life, just like sitting there on screen. So maybe that changes as more reprints come along. But right now, there's like very few songs, but there's some pretty decent-ish like Amber Amethyst songs that specifically I think would go good in a Madrigal deck. So that would be fun.
What about Blast from the Past becoming playable? I love that card. That's where you name a card and you get to return all characters with that name from your discard. I know, right? Yeah. I'm really just I think there's a lot of really fun stuff that's been spoiled so far, so I'm excited. I think Fabled's gonna be a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, and then anyone who still wants to do broken bullcrap can go play Infinity, which is me.
I kind of hope that we stay in a lane where there's like a lot less, I don't want to say good removal, because I think we need like, there's definitely a like critical mass and it's definitely like needed to have some removal, but seeing a lot of stuff that's happening with evasive, I think it would be kind of fun if Fabled is a set that's like less Steel Song, Ruby, just banish everything, and more like play to board,
Yes, I think that's exactly where we're heading
like
to.
Things like that.
Yes.
If it does end up going that way, I'm just calling now. Cody is going to have an insanely successful Fabled run because I feel like that's his bread and butter.
Bro, they gave me Bell Accomplishment Stick. I'm going to make combat so awkward.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you just play those lines so well and understand that like those intricacies of the game so good that you're like poised to just have tons of success if that goes well. But if that continues down that path.
I'm going to have to become a good player because there won't be Prince John anymore. I will say, if we can have one final note here, just because I like what Brandon said about the evasives. You know what card might actually be playable if this is how we're kind of turning out? It could be that, I think it's Shimmering Skies. It's like the 5-drop inkable steel action that deals 1 damage to non-evasives, but 3 to all evasives.
Oh, yeah.
No. Tug of War. Yeah.
Tug of War. Yeah, Tug of War. Wouldn't that make fun of that? See, that's where, like, if that card is playable, I think we're in for a great time. That card's going to be so sweet.
Yeah.
Dumbo didn't deserve that.
Yeah, Dumbo is a casualty of Tug of War. We'll say this. The Dumbo deck is a casualty of Tug of War.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, just in general. Do we feel good so far overall about all of the reveals and like how everything's turning out? I mean, we don't have Prince John, we don't have Diablo. We didn't talk about downshifting rarities. So with that said, they have shown that they can change rarities. So like Aerial Sonic Warrior is back, but it's no longer a super rare, it's a rare. Coconut Basket notably is coming back. It was an uncommon, now it's a common. I guess just in general.
Legendary from Mulan,
yeah.
Archer. I forget her name, but she's
yeah.
now super rare.
Yeah, Mulan Elite Archer. Yeah,
that's like one of the few cards that I don't have a playset of because I was like, I don't need to get this card, and so like. This is a little bit of a tangent, but like, people have complained about Fabled being full of reprints. We all already have the cards. Like, I'd be happy to pull some reprinted Mulans because I don't have them.
Yeah. Sure. I think I'm excited. I think everything that they have reprinted, while it may not be the cards for me, like Pirate's Life, I don't know if I'm going to be a Maui Shark gamer, but overall, I feel like everything I have seen reprinted has been like A-okay in my book. I'm completely happy with everything. They haven't printed like any of the dumb broken cards yet. Like, even though y'all were saying Pirate's Life is really annoying, but like Pirate's Life is probably way better than some other things they could have decided to reprint, right? So like that's where I'm at. Yeah. Like, if I understand they're gonna give us powerful cards. I'm not expecting it to be 100% different, but they haven't printed anything yet. But I've been like, absolutely, like, I hate this. I want this never to have happened. Blah blah blah. And I won't even jinx myself about saying what the names of them are, but you can probably think of what you don't want to be facing against right now in the current meta. Like, as long as that stuff's not coming back around, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Yep. I think ultimately we just want a new meta, right? Sorry. I think that's where we are. Is we talked about the Ruby Steel potential. Blurple is very much looking to continue to get even stronger. I think Amber Steel is taking a step back. I think there's all just potential to have a new meta, which is where we want to be.
Let's end it off by saying what we hope gets reprinted.
Okay. You have one card. Yeah, everybody gets one card.
I know what mine is immediately.
Okay, we'll go because they're both like.
I really want Friends on the Other Side to get reprinted.
That's a great one.
I have them signed by the artist. I love the card. I don't think the card's busted. I think it's just right there being like a really good song. Also, we're going to be moving away from like rabbits anymore. So like, we need a Friends or something to do. So I hope Friends comes back.
Should I use a different one? I've gotten this question twice now. Should I use a different one? All right. So my original answer is Lyle Tiberius Rourke.
Of course.
Yes, I support that.
Yeah, he just makes things work for me, But if I can't pick Lyle again, I think I want to pick Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. It's just such a fun, powerful card that no one gives a lot of love to. It's such a cool card. I do like
Bibbidi. I'm gonna be sad if we don't have Lucifer though.
Oh yeah. Well, we're losing like all the good Bibbidi targets, so it might not even be a good choice.
That's a fun card. Ever since I've saw that card, I'm like, this card. That you know what that is? That's a card that's like, if this card is good, it's for wrong reasons. It's for to make you sad.
Oh come on!
If you're Mickey for 5, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, 3-cost character in play.
Just Bibbidying Lucifers at Worlds. Oh god.
Okay, Brandon, do you have a good one?
Yeah, I want a downshifted rarity Rapunzel reprint.
Amber's controversial answer.
I want Rapunzel so badly, and with our initially we thought we weren't going to get her because we saw the Stitch Carefree Surfer is potentially being I think we saw that being reprinted, and so we are gonna I don't know. I'm hoping for Rapunzel because I think Amber needs help with the draw.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's just like such a staple.
That's your draw now.
I don't know. I think there's just like so many blue steel things that are going on. I'd really like to get back to a blue steel world. And so none of you are going to be able to guess this for sure. But
I was just like, this could be a crazy take. But yeah,
no, trust me, your draw's going to drop. The 1-cost Simba. I don't even know what his text is, but the looter 1-cost 1/2 Simba. That's the one I want.
Something king.
Yeah. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of looter stuff. We just talked about like Desperate Plan and the Jasmine that helps you do that stuff. I just want to be able to continue to like loot, and we saw our teammate, shout out Matthew, doing Amber Steel stuff with Kristoff. I think there's some potential there, and you definitely need to be able to loot because I think it's a pretty high uninkable count. So I think I just want a lot of low cost looters, and all of them are rotating except for Mulan, and so I think you need something else to stay.
I think there's a higher likelihood that one's going to be reprinted because I was actually kind of looking at I was just kind of looking through Dreamborn and looking at cards, but there are two shifting really good Simbas with the legendary that like readies your characters and the one that blows up an item or location, but we no longer have like a good Simba to shift onto. So because we would be losing that one.
Right.
So I was like, oh, so maybe we are going to get that Simba back.
Yeah, that's I mean I think that again it's just it's one of those staples, and it seems like what they've been going for in Steel the last couple sets on the ability to like kind of sift through your stuff and making the draw one discard one a pretty powerful effect, and giving some benefits to doing so. And so I would like to see that. Yeah. But okay, Cody, sign us off.
So this is my little boo-boo. That's Ratatouille.
Right there. Just
That's Ratatouille on the dune. And this is my car taxes I got to pay in October.
My car tax.
Fun.
Nice.
All right. And on that note, everyone, thanks for listening. Bye. We will be back as more reprints and cards are revealed to continue to discuss Fabled. And we have, Inkfinity is going to be showing up big time. A lot of us are going to CCS.
Diet Coke tournament.
I think there's a bunch of Diet Coke tournament stuff. We have a bunch of people going to Bologna, actually. I say a bunch, not a bunch, but there's a few of us going to Bologna.
More than you would think. More than you would think from Arkansas.
Yeah, that's ultimately why I said a bunch, is because it's more than you would have expected. I think we're basically all going to Milwaukee. So yeah, just be ready for a bunch of Inkfinity sightings around once Fabled starts, because I think we're all super jazzed and ready to rock and roll. So we will catch you all next time and see you all out there.
See ya.
Peace.